Lance Mechanics here today, and if you're living under a rock, GM just recalled all the L87 engines from 2021 to 2024, minus a few models, but they may update it as they go on. So we're going to talk about that today, what I know what's going to happen, and all the little workarounds they're doing to probably screw over more people. So this might be a long video, it might be a short video, stay tuned. So I got it on my phone here, I'm going to read it word for word. And then we're going to talk about this, and I'm going to tell you what's happening and how people are going to get screwed over again on this. This video is coming out a little later. I was going to do it the first day, but there's really no point. Everybody's jumping on this bandwagon, so let's get into it. So the safety recall is N25249401 L87 engine loss of propulsion. So if you're not familiar with the Kia situation, there was oiling issues, but it was more to do with GDI, and it would wash the bearings out with zero lubricosity, and they'd have the same issue going down the highway, and these engines in the V6 models would just lock up. A lot more worse, a lot more severe, a lot of injuries. So that was a recall, or a TSB for a bit. So I'm looking at this April 2025 release date, revision 00. This is going to get revised a lot. So attention. The bulletin contains an inspection procedure. Vehicles that pass the inspection procedure contained in this bulletin can be sold and delivered to the customer. Pass the inspection. Vehicles that do not pass the inspection procedure contained in this bulletin cannot be sold or delivered to the customer. This is all highlighted. You can check this online. It is a violation of federal law for a dealer to deliver a new motor vehicle or any new or used item of a motor vehicle equipment, including a tire, covered by this notification under sale or lease of defect or non-compliance is remedied. All involved vehicles in... oh my God, why did they word it so funny? All involved vehicles that are in dealer inventory must be held and not delivered to customers. Dealer traded or used for demonstration purposes until the repair contained in this bulletin has been performed, yada, yada. So anyways, here's some of the models. Cadillac lineup, Escalade 2021 to 2024. That'll be the date for all of these. Escalade ESV, Silverado 1500. I don't know why the 2500 isn't in this. Unless that 6.2 is a different from the L87. That doesn't make sense. Again, this is revision 0. Silverado 1500, Suburban, Tahoe, Sierra 1500, Yukon, and Yukon XL. This recall should be performed on vehicles in dealer inventory only. Interesting. Investigate vehicle history, IVH. Oh, interesting terminology. In the GM Global Warranty Management System should always be checked on to confirm vehicle involvement prior to beginning any required inspection in the auto repairs. That's just lingo for the dealership. That's stuff they have to do. Condition. General Motors has decided a defect which relates to the motor vehicle safety may exist in certain 2000 to 2024 model years. Cadillac Escalade and Escalade ESV, Chevy Silverado 1500, Suburban and Tahoe and GMC Sierra 1500, Yukon and Yukon XL vehicles equipped with a 6.2 V8 gas engine, RPO L87. The connecting rod and or crankshaft engine components in these vehicles may have a manufacturing defect that can lead to engine damage and engine failure. If an engine fails during the vehicle operation, the vehicle will lose propulsion. Basically, engines locking up. They use these words to get around things. Increasing the risk of a crash. Yeah. Dealers will inspect the... Correction. Dealers will inspect and... Oh my goodness. Dealers will inspect, and vehicles that pass the inspection will be provided with a higher viscosity engine oil, which will also require a new oil fill cap and some stickers in the darn owner's manual and yada yada. Again, this recall should be performed on vehicles in dealer inventory only. Investigation, yada yada yada, GM, basically bullshit. So, that's the first page. The second page is giving the flat rate times. Inspect and update engine oil type, oil filler cap, OEM page, 0.5. Inspect, the vehicle did not inspect and requires further repair. Send in a 0.2 claim, yada, yada, yada. So, what they're doing is filling these engines with 0W40 now and changing the fill cap in the owner's manual and a lot of the print. So, originally, the engine oil was 0W20. And for people living under a rock, this is all CAFE standards. It's emission-related requirements, all this BS being forced onto the consumer and manufacturers to meet certain criteria and mandates. So GM was famous for a long time using 5W40. Great. Or sorry, 5W30. Years and years and years. You can always rely on that. Same with Ford. You could pull up a truck engine cover and you just knew what oil it was taking. Last 10, 15 years, they've gone to 020s and lower. I mean, friggin' Toyota's using a 0W16. Strange times we're in. But you go into different parts of the world and you can open up an owner's manual and they all use different types of oil compared to what we use here in North America. So I remember when I was putting 0W20 in the 1.8 liter GDIs at Hyundai, you could flip to the back of the book and everywhere but North America, they were running 5W30. So we have some strange requirements in North America and Europe, and it's all to meet emission standards and bull BS regulations. And I'm trying not to divert this video, but I'm getting to it. So they say in the TSB, it's a manufacturing defect, yet they're putting thicker oil in and saying it's okay. So what do you think's really going on? There's definitely bearing clearance issues. And when you're running such a thin oil, there's not much room there for forgiveness if something does get in there and wipes the bearings out. Let's say you have GDI fuel dilution, which I guarantee you was happening in these engines that locked up. So you're running a 0W20 oil and you have GDI fuel dilution issues. Yeah, you're going to run into the same issues Kia did. Unbelievable. So this recall only covers the engines locking up and seems to be dealer inventory ones. What about all the ones driving on the road? From the lingo I'm reading here is, if you have a vehicle, at least this TSB, there could be another TSB. If yours isn't on the lot, you're pretty much up Schitt's Creek without a paddle right now. That's what I read this as, being a former technician dealing with TSBs. Also inspect for DTC P0016. 16 is usually cam correlation timing, so that's interesting. If the P0016 is set, do not proceed with the rest of the inspection and quarantine and submit labor op 910795. Yeah, that's GM stuff. Interesting. So it's a recall, but this recall doesn't really explain what's going on for people who haven't bought a car that's left the lot. It doesn't make sense to me. Someone will correct me in the comments. I'm just reading it from my Honda lingo. So what now? Let's say there's more to this TSB and you've paid for this repair outside warranty. What are your avenues? I don't see the other channels talking about this. I'm going to tell you what I've experienced at the dealer. When you pay for a repair and you went to a private garage and you paid for a new engine replacement and some ridiculous amount of warranty, or you paid for a rebuild and a ridiculous amount of labor, they're not going to cover you what you paid for either of those. You're going to take it up the butt. And here's the way they think is, well, if it was warranty, we would have paid our technicians flat rate. So you're going to get flat rate times. And because it's warranty pay, you're not paying a shop labor rate. So some dealers have incredibly low labor rate hours on warranty because they suck. So let's say the average GM dealership is paying $70 USD for labor warranty time. So if let's say that engine took 20 hours, they're paying 70, they're paying $1,400 in labor, but you going to a private garage, you paid the door rate at $150 for 20 hours. So that's $3,000. Now, you're out that $1,500 in labor. I've seen that so often at even Honda. Next, they're going to say, well, you replaced way more parts than we would have replaced under warranty. So now you're going to eat the cost of all that too. So it's a very vicious game, especially if this recall came after you did the repairs out of warranty. You're gonna be fighting for a long time. They're going to push back every chance they get, because for every claim they can deny, that's how much they save. And that's a lot of money. They are hiring people right now who specialize in denying claims, even outside of recalls. It's a vicious place, but if that one person they pay $100 grand can save them millions, they're gonna go for that, you know, and it sucks. And I've seen this at the dealership level. And this is something not a lot of people will be talking about in these recalls. People who experienced it outside the warranty period, because let's be honest, a lot of my viewers in the States, you drive a lot. You guys are putting 200,000 miles on vehicles in like 2 to 3 years. It's impressive. A lot of you use these vehicles for work or personal things, and that's what I want to talk about today. Yeah, some food for thought. But increasing that oil viscosity, we have a defect, but it's the oil. Some food for thought here. Maybe if you have some of the 5.3 liters with the active fuel management, maybe you should put a 0W50 in there. I don't know. I heard some old guys talking in the comments too. They were putting 1540 in oil in these engines, and I'm starting to wonder if there was some legitimacy behind it. But either way, just some food for thought today. I know I'm not doing what the other videos are doing. I did repeat the TSB verbatim basically, but I'm throwing in my perspective. All the poor people out there who are going to have to fight with lawyers now dealing with this. Yeah, you're in for a battle, and don't let up. It wasn't your fault that they didn't fix the problem early on or issue a recall, because they're good at getting out of things. Their corporate lawyers are very good, and they're paying people to deny claims, and they're going to screw you over. That's how they save money. So something to think about. Lance Mechanics here. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, watch my other videos. I got everything. Till then, have a good one.